Welcome back, little nerds, to the final Pillow Talk Derm of 2024. And if you made it thus far, you deserve a star and a round of applause because we made it. I think we skipped one weekend this year, and that's always a win for me, although it breaks my heart when I skip a weekend. But that being said, welcome. If you're new, welcome to this channel. And if you're not new, welcome back. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe below. And let me know what your New Year's resolutions are, because we're going out with a bang this year. And we're entering 2025 with clear skin. And today we're going to cover our top 10 expert tips for clear skin. Before we jump in, you listen to your skin. If what you're doing is working for you and you look like a baby fetus that has never aged or seen the sun or the light of day, you do not look left, you do not look right, you put your blinders on and you keep going, because that is clearly working and no one can argue with something great. Okay? That is number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All in one rule. Listen to your skin. Now we are jumping into our top 10 expert tips that apply to most skin types. Again, don't forget, it works for you, it works for you, and just ignore the rest. Numero uno, we can skip the morning cleanser. Now, this is a rule that I think is a generalized rule. Obviously, if you're extremely acne prone or you live somewhere very humid and you have acne and you may need to wash twice a day, sure, but give yourself the chance to skip that morning cleanser and just use water in the morning to see if your skin can acclimate to your environment, to see if your skin can acclimate to itself and not necessarily have to overproduce oil because you've overstripped it of its natural oils by over cleansing your face. Cleansing 2 times a day can overstrip your skin and make you drier in the process, and as a result, you go into oil overload, where you start to make more oils to compensate for that superficial lack in hydration. And so this is something that I think is something worth considering and giving it a shot, at least for a few days, to see if you can handle it. Expert tip number 2, ditch the physical scrubs. It is time to toss the physical scrubs away and save the physical for the bedroom with someone important in your life, because physical scrubs are not ideal. They are abrasive. They can cause micro tears in your skin, and especially if you're somebody who is prone to breakouts or have active acne, it can make inflammation and scarring worse. Although it feels great and it scratches that itch or scrub that you have inside your head, it is not necessarily the best thing for you to do for your skin. So I would tell you, cut it out, break it off, and toss it in the trash can. Instead, exfoliating acids are something you should consider, but they're not all created equal. And understanding the difference between a BHA and an AHA is essential, where BHAs like salicylic acid are great for oil-loving skin, and AHAs like glycolic acid, lactic acid, mandelic acid can be better for anti-aging benefits, as well as have a humectant-like property that holds on to hydration. These acids work by dissolving the glue that holds your skin cells together on the most superficial layer, especially the skin cells that start to die as they start to slough off. So in the winter, as the air is drier, we can hold on to them and they don't slough off as easily. So using an exfoliating acid can definitely help get rid of those dead skin cells at the top surface of our skin in a much more gentle fashion, believe it or not, if it's done correctly. Additionally, beyond resurfacing, it can help with fine lines, it can help with acne scarring, it can even help with hyperpigmentation and brighten. So to recap, glycolic acid is the best one if you're looking for anti-aging benefits, because it can boost collagen production, but it's also great for somebody who is dry, looking to keep your skin nice and hydrated, because it is a humectant. Lactic acid is great for brightening. When we think of brightening, we think of lactic acid in general. Mandelic acid is really good if you have sensitive skin. It is the largest of the AHAs, and therefore it is very good on the surface of the skin, and it is very gentle. Salicylic acid, which is a BHA, is great if you have oily skin or acne-prone skin. And if you're sensitive, look for a PHA like glucanolactone. They are even more gentle than mandelic acid, and they can contribute the same way that their cousins do, so glucanolactone for glycolic acid, etc. Expert tip number 3, focus your serum on your skin's biggest issue. I am not talking about hydration being an issue. I am talking about a problem that you have, such as hyperpigmentation. Do you have brown spots? Such as redness. Are your acne scars red and not just textural? Now, maybe your problem is textural. Do you have a lot of textural issues on your skin? Fourth, are you breaking out? Find your biggest active problem or your biggest issue and focus your serum on that powerhouse issue so it can tackle that problem. And layer in hydrating products throughout your skincare routine. But your serums are where you want to invest your coin to make sure that you're targeting your biggest problem. Number 4, moisturize for your skin type in the environment that you're in. Not because you're dry are you going to universally moisturize the same in a dry climate and in a humid climate. And not because you're oily are you going to avoid moisturizers like the plague in a dry climate like you would in a humid environment. The oilier you are somewhere humid, the less you need. The drier you are somewhere humid, the less you need. But in a dry environment, we need to layer. Think of the dry environment as somewhere cold where you layer on articles of clothing. You want to layer on articles of hydration. And that depends on your skin type, how much you layer on versus how much you lay off. All right. And that is, I think, a rule that many people have not fully grasped. Like, for example, in my practice today, I had a patient ask me about my major fade line. And she was asking about how do you make it more hydrating? And I said, you layer in hydration. And we had to talk about layering in an essence, layering in just a basic hydrating serum, followed by a moisturizer, followed by a thicker occlusive in between the 3 major fade products. I will link below a whole video I have about how to layer hydrating products. Number 5 expert tip is limit the hyaluronic acid in your routine, because most products on the market have some form of hyaluronic acid in it. You do not need to be layering in hyaluronic acid serums into your routine because you're going to be getting that hydration through other products. Now, 1 hyaluronic acid product in your skincare routine is totally fine. 2 is okay, but do you need it in 4 or 5 steps in a row? Absolutely not. And my beef with hyaluronic acid has nothing to do with the fact that I think it is dehydrating. It has everything to do with the fact that anecdotally in my practice, I have seen it, especially in its lowest molecular weight, contribute to a light inflammatory response. And one can argue, how do you know it's the hyaluronic acid and not the preservatives or the fragrance or whatever in these products? But when you do it time and time again, where you just cut it out completely, and that is the single ingredient that you know you're cutting out across dozens, if not hundreds of patients, and you watch how those patients' skin shifts, there has to be a common thread there. And the things that I've always looked out for have been the low molecular weight hyaluronic acid. I've tried to make sure that the products that they were using were fragrance free because that can be a contributing factor as well. But the one commonality across all these patients is when I've limited it, that this superficial erythema, superficial redness, and superficial inflammatory response tends to get better on its own. And I am somebody who offers laser treatments like a V-beam, which is expensive and you need several of them. And I would rather see a patient get away by cutting down their skincare and shifting to better products for their skin and limiting that HA because they were doing it like in 6 or 7 steps, instead of having them spend thousands of dollars on laser treatments to treat that redness. It's something that I've seen anecdotally in my practice over and over and over again. So take it or leave it. If you are at a crossroads and you're wanting to give up on your redness, it's worth it giving it a try. Number 6 is do your skincare routine as early as you get home. I should have followed my own rule today. It is nearly 11 p.m., but try to get your skincare routine in once you enter your apartment or your house, especially if you know you're not going back out for the night, because you're going to get more face time with the actives in your routine instead of having your pillowcase get all the TLC and all the love. Expert tip number 7, anything you use on your face, you can use on your body. Example, tretinoin, you can use on the keratosis pilaris on your arms. Exfoliating acids, you can use on your arms and elbows as well, especially if your elbows or knees or the bottom of your feet appear thicker. Any product for hyperpigmentation, discoloration, you can use on sunspots on the back of your hands or your chest. The biggest one you have to be careful about is any sort of retinol or tretinoin or retinoid on the neck area and a little bit on your chest, because those parts of your skin tend to react a little bit differently and are more sensitive to retinols, and you can get a retinol burn. Number 8 tip is approach your skincare routine not in terms of the day, but in terms of the week. your routine has to have a weekly view. Think of a skincare routine in a weekly situationship and not a daily one, because you're trying to incorporate various actives throughout the course of the week and not necessarily every day. For example, glycolic acid. You don't want to use a 15% glycolic acid on your face every night. You will inflame and disrupt and break down your skin barrier. Instead, you probably want to use it 3 times a week on average over the course of the week. Expert tip number 9 is in your morning routine, limit it to maximum 4 steps. You do not need more than 4 steps, and I'm not counting washing your face with water as one of them, but if we were to count washing your face with water, for me personally, my morning routine consists of washing my face with water, we can count it, using a powerhouse serum. For me, it's always been about discoloration, hyperpigmentation. I use my hyper serum. Using on top of it a moisturizer or something with vitamin C. My active seal is a 2-in-1 for me. And then sunscreen. And I'm out of the house. I obviously apply makeup and then I go. But that is my skincare routine. Now, if you don't count water, you could do serum, eye cream, moisturizer, sunscreen, and you're out. You don't need more in the morning routine. And number 10, the most important expert skincare tip is when in doubt, slap it on your face and just wear the damn sunscreen, because not all of us have the know-how or the time to check the UV index, and a good habit is better to have than none. And therefore, getting in the habit of wearing a sunscreen, especially when you're investing the time, effort, money, and energy into your skincare and your face, is to protect it and to limit the damage that it can accumulate in further years from the sun. So just like brushing your teeth, just wear the damn sunscreen and make your life easier. Just wear it every day. And there you have it. Those are our top 10 expert tips to end 2024. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what your New Year's resolutions are and what it is you want to see more from me next year. And I hope you guys have a very safe and healthy and happy New Year's Eve. I never stay up till midnight, and I will see you in the new year. Have a beautiful Saturday, and I'll see you on the other side of the spin. See you then.